Today I want to talk about the practice of keeping a sketchbook because it seems like there has been a huge paradigm shift when it comes to sketchbooks. As an elder millennial, I did not grow up with social media, and I want to note right now that this is not a video about the evils of social media, nor is it a back in my day type of discussion. But just for context, when I was in high school, I took art classes, I had a few friends who were artists, and I kept a sketchbook. And again, no social media. And at that time, I think most of the people I knew had an understanding that a sketchbook was a very private, or at least somewhat private, place for coming up with ideas. In fact, I looked up the definition of sketch, and it said a rough or unfinished drawing or painting often made to assist in making a more finished picture. So by definition, sketchbooks have always been a place where you could scribble, make messy drawings, practice, and screw up again and again. The whole point for me anyway was to figure things out, or sometimes maybe not even to do that. Sometimes the action and repetition of making marks on the paper could be enough. There was rarely any pressure in working in a sketchbook, and for me, very rarely anything close to a finished drawing. And it never mattered what it looked like because nobody else had to see it. Obviously, you could show someone if you chose to, but it's not like there was some platform you could log into and show the whole world your work. So for most of my life, it never occurred to me until quite recently that this is not how a lot of younger artists see a sketchbook. Once I started getting back into art more, I started paying more attention to the online art community because what an incredible thing to be able to see what artists all around the world are doing. I love that there are so many talented artists with such unique styles and ideas, and that you can just access all of this with a few taps. But one of the more distressing byproducts of this, I think, is how a lot of people are approaching the idea of a sketchbook these days. Don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with creating an amazing spread or finished art piece and showing it off from your sketchbook, truly. I don't think that's a problem. But I do think there's a problem when people think this is what you have to do. It always has to be finished, beautiful, perfect, or at least aesthetic. I have heard people say that they were afraid to make art that's less than perfect, so they just didn't make it at all. And while I know that's a feeling that's existed probably long before social media, I do think it has been exacerbated in recent times. I can't help but feel, as an artist, I've had a huge advantage in not growing up with social media. Even though I am clearly somebody who's posting art online, I feel I am definitely less susceptible to the pressure that a lot of younger artists may feel. And recently, I have heard several artists who decided they were going to start keeping an ugly or messy sketchbook. And to that, I just want to give my wholehearted endorsement and say, oh my gosh, yes, please do. Of course, you can do a few finished pieces in your sketchbook or dedicate an entire sketchbook to finished pieces. You can do anything you want with your sketchbook. I mean, that's the whole point. The only thing upon which I will insist is that you keep a sketchbook that is entirely your own personal place to practice and scribble and fumble and create less than perfect art in. If that means adding another sketchbook, that's okay. And of course, you can show people later if you choose, but go in with the idea that it is your own private, personal, safe space. Fill it with rough sketches and incomplete ideas. It is so important that you have at least one place that is all your own with no pressure and no fear of criticism. Not only is it incredibly freeing, but I believe it's entirely necessary to have this type of outlet as an artist. It is truly magical when you think about it to have a book in which you can draw or write anything that you dream up. And to get better, and I think more importantly, to enjoy the artistic process more, you need to have a messy sketchbook.